God bless you. This is Ellen Mongan, and welcome to Wow Mom. Today is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. As you see, we have a familiar guest. It's my mom, Ellenor Manfredi. Hey, Mom, how you doing?
Hi, Ellen, my daughter, Ellen. Isn't she beautiful?
No, you're beautiful too, Mom. Mom, it doesn't like to tell her age. She's 90. I say 97. She's 95.
95.
And she's still alive. She's 95 and still alive. And so we're going to talk today. I don't know what this is. We're going to talk today about being elderly. Like she is an example to many people of elderly. I always tell people that I'm old and I'm elderly, but she's elderly too. So, Mom, what's it like to be elderly?
Very lonely and not very nice because all your friends are gone.
I know.
And I had to move in with my daughter, and because I couldn't live by myself. And I know I'm in the way. It's not a nice place to be, but I have to be there until my day is done.
No, but it could be. I try to always tell her things to do that she can do, and she thinks I want her to do them. I don't. I just think of myself. If you think of yourself and you're talking to someone else, they aren't you. So she's not me. She does find joy in little things, so that's a good thing. And it is hard. I'll tell you why it's hard. Because when you leave a land where you knew, she lived in Aiken, South Carolina, and moved to Florida, which it wasn't her home, then she's having to start over again at 95. But she has a lot of family here. She's visiting for a short time, and she's doing the life here. And then she has variety. So my sister Julie's our hero. She takes good care of Mom. She takes her to doctors, dentists. She takes her to right foot doctor. She does her nails, hair. And so Julie's a very good caregiver. And Keith is outstanding because Keith's always there. But we just love having you on the show, Mom. So today your show is going to be called Wisdom from the Old Lady. I just think it's great because it says it all. You know, when you're older, you have wisdom that no one else knows and no one else even thinks of because you've already done this stuff before and they're just starting out. So I'm thinking my first question is going to be, and this is because we talk about it a lot. Mom loves TV. And so the TV shows have even changed. Like the whole world changed like in 1 second when she was not looking. You turn now and forever ago. And so what were the TV shows like during your day, Mom, next to what we have now?
The TV shows were once a week and not like every day, like Everybody Loves Raymond is on every night. Years ago, it was on once a week. And the shows were nice and clean and no swearing. And the stories were good. And it was much better in my days than it is today. I turned on one news show one time, and in 5 minutes, they swore. I can't tell you how many times. I turned it off real quick. And my daughters tell me that that's how life is. But my generation, we didn't do that, and we don't do it today.
That's right. That's right. I'm in your generation about because I'm so appalled by the way things went downhill. You know, it's easy to walk. It's hard to climb up a hill and make things better. And it's easy to slide down and go into the land of like unrighteous, impure, and unwholesome. So watch those little children. This is Ellen Mongan from Wow. They watching that TV when you least expect it. Something else pops out of people's mouths that really is. We used to call it potty mouth in our home. So, Mom, what is your favorite shows? Everyone loves Raymond.
Everybody Loves Raymond. And Two and a Half Men. I like the old shows.
The old shows.
The commercials are very short. And they have a real story behind them. And I like, and the old movies, Turner Classic Movies. I like the old fashioned things.
You do. And the old movies she loves because I like the clothing. That's what I say, Mom. I like the clothing. She watches a lot of old movies and she knows a lot of them. Pat also he always goes down when she is and goes like, I've seen that before. When did you see it? He sees it a lot too. But I like the clothes, Mom, and the styles. And when women were ladies and men were dapper, don't you think? And they cared about the way they presented themselves. So we get on the old movies. I like the hats. I like the pearls. I try to emulate, Mom, the old movies. So I think it's so stunning. And Mom was always a style setter, and she always wore the clothes that were, in style and proper even for her generation. Now she dresses up in her clothes She was at a wedding of my son Sean, and she looked stunning, right, Mom? You had something different on. Remember your clothes for Sean's wedding? You had the vision, you wear black pants and a jacket, and Julie found just the perfect jacket. Do you remember? I showed everybody. Everybody thought
I wore a pantsuit, even though everybody else wore a gown. I wore a pantsuit.
because she's her own
But the
person.
styles of today, I joke with people about if you added the material to the shoulders, how much more would it cost you? And the styles today with the shoulders showing and holes in different places. Julia will wear something where the bra in the back shows.
It's probably
The straps and everything show on the back.
I'm not gonna comment because I don't have, that is my husband's my modesty meter, my best friend, and she looked like this. You gonna wear that? So I have said, when you're in Florida, it's a different kind of style. Even if you're trying to be modest, it's all different thing. But Mom was always very modest. Don't you think, Mom? She never would be caught dead with too short or too low, right? You were modest.
Yeah, I would never wear anything too low. I didn't have anything to show.
And she would always teach us to shut the door. To this day, Pat and I do not go to the bathroom in front of each other at all. We just do not. We were raised very sheltered and modest. I thought that was a good thing. I really did. You were raised that way too, Mom, right?
Yeah. Well, in our day, we were all the same.
I know.
We all had the same, way we did things. We did them all the same. We had, what shocks me today is we always had supper between 5:30 and 6. Everybody I knew did that. And today the kids, well, I guess because of women are working, but now they're not eating dinner together. Ellen and Pat do, but most people don't. And they just grab something. I know when I went to Julie's house in the beginning, I told Julie, I have to have something to eat or I won't sleep. Because they just grab a piece of cheese or a piece of something, or they go out most of the time. But they're good about making dinner now.
Hey, well, they have to because you have to eat. I know that one. I could have told her, but that's good though. Mom is very healthy. She's health conscious. She doesn't eat any junk food hardly ever or sweets. She just eats the right foods, and I think that's why she's 95 and still alive. I could call the show 95 and still alive, but I like wisdom from the old lady. I do like that. Can you tell us, as your older self, like if you were talking to someone that was in this generation, what you think they should do to be a little more less self-centered and more other-centered? Because in your day, you were very much other-centered towards your mom. You saved money, paid for your mom. Remember things you did that were not self-centered, but other-centered. What you do for this generation cares a lot about, it's the yuppie generation. They go and do what they want. Then they, say, you had your generation on not being so self-centered.
Our generation, most of us didn't have cars. So we had coffee clutches because when everybody started getting a car, then you didn't see neighbors anymore. And the computer took conversation away from people, which I miss. And when in my generation, we'd get together and have coffee and talk until the kids came home for lunch. And but we couldn't go anywhere because nobody had a car. But it was very neighborly in those days. Today, people don't even know their neighbors. Julie doesn't know her neighbors. Now, Ellen happens to be in the neighborhood with her children.
But I have good neighbors on first time. I mean, I've had good neighbors before, but I'm very friendly, which I'm, me, I don't care if I see neighbors or not, but I have good neighbors here. I should introduce you to some. They're good. It's hard though.
Yeah, but Julie doesn't have neighbors that you see very often. She knows who they are, but she doesn't see them hardly at all. And most of the people today have gardeners, so the men aren't out there doing the yards where you get together and talk. But the world has changed as far as conversation goes. Everybody's on their computer or their iPads, and you go into a room and with a bunch of kids, and they've all got their iPads and nobody's talking to anybody.
This is our main message to people of the day. Really, this is a good message, Mom. It is. It's good because, I mean, it does make it kind of lonely for someone that wants conversation. It does. The people are on their iPads and busy. but I meant more like your mom and dad. How did people treat, like in our generation? Like even when we were in East Rochester, we visit grandma, everyone visited grandma, it was all around grandma, wasn't it, in your generation? How'd you all treat
Yeah,
grandma?
everybody would go see my mother before, when they came out of work. My brothers all came to see my mother before they went home. And today, all the kids are separated, like Tyler's in Japan and Josh was in Hawaii, and Sean isn't too far away, he's in Atlanta. But everybody's separated, where in our days, everybody lived near each other
Mhm.
and
And your
got
mom was-
together on Sundays.
Mhm. That's right. And
And,
even all the kids lived the same. In East Rochester is a small town. Everybody visited grandma. The kids would go visit grandma after St. Jerome's Catholic School. They get up, they come in their uniforms and see grandma. Grammy's sitting there on the rocking chair doing a rosary all day long. And they would just center around that because grandma really couldn't speak English, right? And she couldn't go anywhere. But mom's when she got to be her generation, not grandma's, mom had a car and she went and did things. She was an entrepreneur, as you all know. She started a catering business. She had a late in life Julie, which she had to spend time, of course, as a mom, and she made things in her generation. They were able to go places because grandma was kind of there, and everyone visited. They all centered their life around making sure grandma was visited. My mom had a lot of friends. She was in Newcomers Club and all the different things you did, Mom, so that you didn't have that same. We didn't have the same upbringing that my mom's sisters and brothers had, where it centered around the mother and grandma, because grandma was really just stuck there, right? Wasn't she stuck at house? She didn't go anywhere. She didn't drive. But lucky Uncle Raymond was there for her in his
Oh, but Uncle Raymond had a beauty parlor in the basement,
Mhm.
and people that went to him to get their hair done would come upstairs and talk to my mother. So she had company all day long. But she didn't go anywhere, she didn't drive.
I know. And she
so
built her whole life
she had a lot
around.
of company. Huh?
She built her whole life around that. That was her whole life. That wasn't your life or mine. She built her whole life around that little house and the little garden she did, and seeing the friends. And she didn't really go to Europe or New York City, or she just built her whole life around sitting in her home waiting for the people to come, because she spent most of her life praying. That's what grandma did, I think, to me. I don't know about grandpa though. What'd he do, Mom? What'd your dad do? Because we visited.
My father watched television all day long.
Because we were visiting grandma. We came to visit, we said hi to grandpa, but neither one of us spoke Italian. They didn't speak English. It was kind of one of those relationships.
My father spoke English.
Okay, I didn't notice. See, I was so little. They passed away when we were not so young. Grandma died 30 years ago. So I don't know. I wasn't so young, so I'm 68 now. Yeah, it's changed. This is the thing. Some things are good when they change, and some things are poor. So what are the good changes you see in the world, Mom? What are some of the good things you see change? It's your wisdom,
Well,
lady.
TV.
That's right.
That's all I could think of.
That's right. No, that's
The
right.
computers have separated people.
I know.
And two cars have separated people, because women didn't have cars in our days. So we were stuck with each other. Now everybody has a car and everybody goes in different directions. Everybody shops, and you don't see each other very much,
And so it is what it is. And that's kind of a good thing to be able to go and do, like travel and see things. All my kids' mom right now are in a different island. And your child, Julie's going over to Aruba, right? That's an island. And then my one kid's was in Tybee, Caitlin, and then Terrell was over in St. John, and then wasn't St. Thomas. One kid's at St. John, one kid's at St. Thomas, Terrell and Amanda, and Jerry, of course, is at St. Martin. So they're like
they're all in saints.
They're all saints, so they're all on islands. And I go, Julie's even going to Aruba. I think it's great. I like the travel, Mom, though. I do like the travel, that people can go and do new experiences. And that's why the Zoom and the computer is good, because like if you can't see people, you could see them on the computer, which isn't the same. But here I am. Hello, Mom. I'm in the same house, but I'm waiting to her. Do you remember, Mom, when we had the pandemic and everyone got on the computer and we all had that game Jeopardy? And it was like every kid was on there with their. Do you remember that Jeopardy? You were at our house that time too. We were in that last house, which was in the era, and we had a Jeopardy game. and it wasn't Jeopardy, we had a game. And they'd ask a question, all the couples would say the answer. Do you remember you're sitting upstairs in the theater room when you could go to the
I
stairs?
don't think I was here. Oh, yeah.
You
I
saw me,
remember
you're
that.
glad to
Yeah.
see. And then I'm just saying some good things about the computer because there is some good. My mom had her
Oh,
last.
I know. I just don't do a computer.
I
My
know.
generation, we didn't get, people I know didn't have
I know.
computers or know how to work them.
It
either.
can be a tool though, and you could actually get on the computer, Pat, and I could put you on, you could visit anybody on computer that wants to visit. That all you cousins and family members who want to visit with grandma or Ellenor Manfredi, Aunt Eleanor, whoever she is to you, we can put you on the Zoom. And the other good thing is when Julie had mom's birthday, I think it was the year before last, she had everybody on the Zoom again to say hello to you. Do you remember that? All the
Yeah,
Zoomers
my
there.
birthday, yeah.
I know, because they can't always come in, and that's just how it is. But mom likes a lot of people, so a lot. So y'all, if you're a friend of mom's, please zoom on in sometime soon. So I'm trying to think of another question. What was the difference in your generation of did they have for entertainment? Like you and dad every weekend had date nights, Friday and Saturday. Where'd y'all go?
Oh, we went out to dinner and we went dancing. Dancing was big in our generation. And we'd go to the American Legion and dance until, not late, but we'd go dancing with another couple.
Mhm.
And today, I don't know, I'm not familiar with anybody going dancing.
I know, like
And now today, the kids go to the bars.
oh well, no,
Is that what they do for entertainment?
oh no, we have a hard time thinking about Pat and I like to hike. We used to go hiking, but I don't know what they do. We try and still date night every single week, but dad and mom are good at that. They always had a date night. Well, they had a late life child. I know this for a fact because Lynn and I were given turns in our high school level, and Lynn and her boyfriend at the time watched Julie one weekend. They loved it. And then Pat and I, no, Pat and I, I was my boyfriend then. My boyfriend and I watched Julie the other weekend, and it was like every weekend they could count on us. We didn't volunteer, actually. It was just like our assignment for the day. But anyways, that was still good that you took a date night, Mom. I think it was important to take a date night every single time and to have some time when you had with dad. And couples need to think and learn from that. That's wisdom from the old lady, to take a date night, take time for your husband, ignore your spouse and they'll go away, And then you dressed up, didn't you, when you went on a date? You didn't just wear blue jeans and a sweatshirt, you wore nice clothes, right?
We all got dressed up in the Ben wore jackets and ties. And but that people don't dance that I know of, go dancing anymore. There's nowhere to dance.
And mom used to have a lot of couples parties at her house, right? You had a lot of entertainment at house dinner parties, right?
We used to have a lot of dinner parties, and people were closer in those days. And if you needed something, the neighbors were always friendly.
Mhm.
And one night when I had Julie woke up and I was giving her a bottle, and my neighbor across, this is 2 a.m,
Right.
and my neighbor across the street said, "I see your lights are on. Is everything all right?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm just giving Julie a bottle." But people cared about each other in those days.
I did.
And today you don't even know your neighbors,
Mhm. Yeah.
I know you know your neighbors, Ellen, but most people don't know their neighbors.
Well, we
I lived in Aiken, South Carolina. I lived in the same house for 40 years.
Mhm.
25 of those years I lived at Wisteria Manor, which was a mansion where I did catering.
Mhm.
But every time we rented the house, I would ask the people if they met the neighbors. No one ever met any of the neighbors, and we never met the neighbors.
Well,
And my husband died while we were living there, and not one neighbor came over to say anything.
You probably didn't know.
And one time this man came over and he was asking me questions about somebody in the neighborhood that was getting a job. And I says, "I can't even tell you who they are." I says, "I don't know anybody in this neighborhood." After living there at least 20 years before we moved to Wisteria Manor.
Mhm.
And as I said, we rented the house out, but nobody ever met a neighbor.
Mhm. I think though, I am not a friendly neighbor, Mommy, as you know, and so I would have been one of your neighbors that didn't know you because I'm not a neighborly. A lot of my friends are. We used to live in Montclair, in Augusta, Georgia. All the neighbors were super friendly because they're all Christian community people from all Liga that we lived in the street with all the elderly people. So we knew them all. But I'm more of a schedule my friends person. Like I'll see you from 12 to 1, meet at the Olive Garden. I'm that person. So I probably would have been one of those neighbors you didn't like because I take my time and I divide up into what I have to do for my work, and I don't really hang with people all the time, but I schedule in. We do something special. Deacon Pat and I schedule a couples friend night once a month, and we schedule it in and we say from then to then. I promise no one wants to go home. So I guess they like it. And so we start I start going to my stewardess saying, okay, time to go, because they still like 2 a.m. sometimes, but we don't like to have pop in. We're just not that. Mom didn't mind. You know, popped in, you said, but you didn't mind. So now in this neighborhood, I'm friendly, Mom, but not to have them over. I don't have them over. I just say, hey, but I at least know them. So I'd be a neighbor you didn't like because some people don't like to have people all the time, and some people do. So I was that person. And those of you who know me, if I haven't seen you yet in Augusta, Georgia, we're back and love to see you.
Now, we were all busy. We didn't spend all day together.
Hmm.
It's just that if you were going by somebody's house, you'd knock at the door and said, I just want to say hi, and they'd go on, and everybody was busy and doing things. But
ask Pat, I wouldn't answer the door. I go, I'm busy. But it's so different. So then that's good though. It's a good habit, Mom. It's because you lived in a neighborhood that was very friendly in Arlington Heights. It was very, very friendly. They did everything together. They had block parties, they had dinner parties, we had a band there, and the teens all hung together too. And we outside parties. We did tons of things in Arlington Heights, very friendly time in our lives. But I'm just not. I never thought I would be that person. Mama had so many things to do, even as a mother, that I didn't cultivate people just hanging out. I just did. I know a lot of people do like that in the summer. That's great. It's just not me. But that's, the world's changing. And what other things you think are changing, Mom, quickly?
Well, I said to my son who just moved to a new neighborhood,
okay.
And I said, Craig, get to know your neighbors in case you need something. A family can't get there in time. A neighbor is right there for you if you need help with anything. Get to know your neighbors, not spend a lot of time with them, but just know who they are and their phone numbers. In case you need help, you've got to have a neighbor, because families can't get to you in time,
What do you say?
And neighbors, I think, are very important, not to spend all day with them. Everybody's too busy, but just to know who they are.
Yeah, but what did Craig say to that? I'm dying to know. Do you say yay or no? This is Craig. He
didn't say anything.
Okay, well, I hope you get to know your neighbors. Who are the people in your neighborhood? If you're not the friendly neighbor like me, I'm friendly, but not as a neighbor, then maybe you should host a luncheon. I'm going to host a luncheon soon here, Mom, because I'm a host a luncheon girl. And get to know your neighbors. It's very
I can't do anything. I'm 95 years old. I can't do anything.
No. And, I'm gonna host a luncheon. I'm talking about me because I'm on a show. We're on live. Hello, welcome to Wow Mom. We're live today with Ellenor Manfredi, and she's on the air talking about wisdom from the old lady. But I think she's got some great wisdom. I said, I'm gonna host a luncheon because I'm the person in the neighborhood that does host a luncheon. And I say, come on over my house from 12 to 2 and then bye. I'm the one that hosts all the things. So I do host friend group, I host that. So that's why I share my life with other people. But some women do like, and I know in our community we are in Montclair, Mom, when we were together a lot more than me. It wasn't their choice, it was my choice. I just wasn't that person. Hey, so I gotta find some more wisdom, Mom. What are some of the things you want to share with the younger generation about be yourself? Because that all the other parts are taken. Like you just said, you wore pants and no one else did. You were fine with that. You be yourself. That's the one good thing you and Dad did.
I wore a very dressy pantsuit to my granddaughter's wedding. And I did to Sean's wedding. I wore a pantsuit.
That's right.
I hate dresses. Ellen and I are very opposite. She loves dresses. I hate them.
That's right, though. You're very style-centered though, Mom. You're very stylish. So what about this? Be yourself. Like you don't feel uncomfortable if you don't have to be just like anybody else. You taught all of us not to be, just to be ourselves, right? Like every one of us are different. Lynn's different.
Like at the wedding, other grandmothers all wore gowns. I had a pantsuit on. And if I go to anything dressy, I just wear a very dressy pantsuit with lots of jewelry. Yeah. And I'm very comfortable that way.
Yeah, that's good. You like to be comfortable that way. And then I don't think it's a bad or good thing, but I think it's great that you could be yourself and not feel like, what are they wearing? What are they doing? Mom was very good about giving each person the opportunity to explore what they wanted to be. None of us have the same career or the same lifestyle or the same clothing. Evelyn, Alan, Craig, Julie, and I just think it's very important as parents to let kids be themselves. Tell us about grandma. What did she teach you? Your mother. Now, what did your mother teach you?
Um,
Oh, I'm so turned to me.
my mother didn't have any rules,
Right? I
but we
know
all turned out very well.
that. Mhm,
And we were all in the house by 9 o'clock.
mhm.
And my mother was just a very giving person
She was.
and loved to cook. She'd sing while she was cooking,
Yeah, she taught that.
and she would cook lunch. We'd have a hot lunch and a hot dinner. And but she was a good person. She was very well liked, had a lot of friends,
And very beautiful.
very religious. Huh?
Was your mom really beautiful too, right? Your mom was very beautiful. Your mom was beautiful. She taught you beauty. To mom and grandma, beauty was very important. She taught her that cooking. She taught you not cleaning or decorating. That wasn't grandma's gift.
No, my mother was not a decorator.
And she wasn't that.
She didn't have time to decorate.
I don't think she cared. She just liked people, but it wasn't what grandma said, it was who she was. She sat in her chair, like I'm wheeling here. She sat in her chair and just did her rosaries. You went to visit grandma, she would fix you 2 cookies or an orange, and she would sit there and just be yourself. Grandpa would play solitaire on the floor, Mom. He would lay on the floor, and he'd play solitaire with the cards. He did. He liked solitaire. And you know what? It was a simple life. It was very simple. And when there was family gatherings, there actually was family gatherings at grandma's. She had a very small house at the time when I was a kid, and she would host things. And we don't do that either, Mom. Mom always hosts Thanksgiving. She used to when she was younger, not 95, of course not. But I don't really host that many things. You could ask my son-in-law Ryan, he's gonna say no, she doesn't host hardly anything. So it's like we pass the baton. At a certain age, you pass the baton to your children and you let them host. Yes, go on. You want to say something else? I'm going wisdom for the old lady with Ellen Mongan on Wow Mom. She's a lot of wisdom. If you're not taking notes, you might want to rewind this and start again, because this is a show where you hear once in a lifetime wisdom from a person that's 95 years old. And she doesn't host lunches anymore or parties, but she does miss people and she likes people. So, I mean, if you're related, like if you're Alan, Craig, Lynn, or Julie, give a call. Hey, it's not on the show, but anytime. So Mom, I'm trying to think of some more things that you did that were really different than other people. You spent a lot of time. Now, believe it or not, one of Mom's hobbies, and it wouldn't be at all, was gambling with Lila, right? Gambling with Lila, her best friend.
Oh yeah, every 6 weeks we would go to Biloxi and gamble.
Which is in your 80s. Weren't you in your 80s?
Yeah, laughed all the way out there and all the way back. Never had an argument. She was Jewish, and I'd love to have a Jewish friend to talk to on the phone.
Yes,
I miss every place I lived. We moved like 6 or 7 times, and every place I went, I had a Jewish friend, and we just had so much in common. And I just loved every one of them. But Lila was my very, very best friend. And we would laugh all the way out there and all the way back. And Lila would bring a big purse. And when we went to she would take up chicken breasts and wrap it in something and put it in her purse to eat later. Of course, she never ate it. But anyway, she'd always bring a big purse so she could put a chicken breast in it. But funny. We always had a lot of fun. She's been gone 20 years and I still miss her tremendously.
Of course.
And
you had that other friend in Illinois that was Jewish, and her name was I got your name, across the street neighbor. Who's your cross? You probably won't remember. Lois.
No.
And it was, well,
I don't know, try to find
Dembowski, Mrs. Dembowski. You had
Sandy.
And she was a Jewish woman too. Mom is compatible with Jewish people. This is not.
We tried to find her, but I think she died because we couldn't find her anymore.
This is, and we are going to try to reach out to. So be ready and waiting. Bruce Chandra, which was a cousin and mom's nephew that moved to Aiken, where mom's old stomping ground. So be ready for that phone call, Bruce. Bruce will invite you to dinner. So in your life of people, and because we're gonna close soon, people and going place and doing things, what is your favorite place you went? Like lived?
Who, Julie?
No, you.
My favorite place was, we didn't travel very much because
Oh,
I
where?
did catering until I was 80. And so we were kind of tied down.
Mhm.
And my favorite place to live was Arlington Heights, Illinois. The
See?
people were so friendly. Well, everywhere we went, people were friendly, except Aiken.
Oh, yeah,
For
that
40
is-
years, never met a neighbor, huh?
They're about a stranger. The thing is, Pat doesn't like when I do that, but some places are known for, friendliness. And for some reason, Midwest was very friendly for Mom and I both, right? I have a group of people, Mom, that I'm on the air with tomorrow night. It's a high school reunion group. We're all playing the high school reunion. And so it's fun to see that Midwest people, we say Midwest is the best, they're friendly people. And the South is friendly too. It just depends on what people you meet. Mom met a lot of people through newcomers, right? Do you want to say something about newcomers? You're the one
Yeah.
that told me. Well, tell them about newcomers.
And the club was down the street,
That was nice.
2 blocks away. And I'd go there, 2 or 3 times a week and play bridge.
Yes.
And Wednesday night, we'd all get together and have dinner together at night.
Mhm.
And, but everywhere we moved, you wouldn't believe how friendly the people were coming in as strangers.
Mhm.
We moved to Arlington Heights and a lady across the street called us up and said, I'm having a party. Why don't you open the door and walk across the street and meet your neighbors?
Okay.
This was December 12th. I'll
Wow.
never forget that.
Julie's
And then when
birthday.
we moved
Julie's
to
birthday.
Pennsylvania,
Uh-huh.
I went next door and told them that our furniture was coming and we were staying at the Holiday Inn, and please call us if our furniture comes. And she says, oh, don't stay at the Holiday Inn, stay with us. I says, oh, we have 4 children. Oh, we have sleeping bags. I says, that's okay. This is a company move. Very, very friendly. And, but everywhere we went, people were friendly.
That's
And
good.
Aiken, I had lived there when in the 50s,
Okay.
but naturally our friends, well, I got back into the bridge club I was in way back then, but I never met my neighbors. Like I said, I keep repeating myself because I can't believe I lived
that's
there
your
40
message,
years
huh?
and never met a neighbor.
Well, she said 40 years, not 4. And you know what? I think that's your message to the world. You know what I'm saying? We had COVID, the COVID sleep in, or we call it the timeout for America, just to be alone. And guess what? That was a time that a lot of people got lonely. So this is a message that my mom's saying. I don't know why my video went funky, but we say to you all that the truth is, please visit your neighbors, start reaching out, because that's her message to the world. Every time I go on the show with her, I never know what we're going to talk about. But this time we talked a lot about that. But we have one last question, then we're going to close it off. And I got to think of what it's going to be. And it's going to be, then we're going to close it on the show, and you could go off if you want. Mom waited a long time to get on the show because I don't know if she likes to do this as much as I could do it with her. I do it because it's a memory for later on. People, the grandchildren that like, say, Troy, that's only 1 year old, he won't know Grandma Eleanor, maybe, you never know. So I didn't know a lot of my grandparents. I didn't know my dad's parents at all, at all. So I like people to know Eleanor. She's a wonderful woman that has a lot to share, and she's interesting. And in our family, we always enjoy, my kids especially, like being around her and enjoy what she has to say. So tell a little bit about humor, Mom, because that's one other thing you think is lacking in this world. And humor makes you come alive. Humor.
I know. People used to laugh all day long, but today I notice that people don't have a sense, the people I know and my relatives don't seem to have a sense of humor. You try to say something funny and they take it seriously and explain to you about something that you're making fun of. And I don't try to be funny anymore because it doesn't go anywhere. People are serious. People are very serious today. And
But I was thinking about that the other day, Mom. That might be one of the reasons why you live so long, is because you have a sense of humor, and you also watch funny shows. You know, a lot of people watch not funny shows. They watch only news or drama or shoot 'em up, killing. rape, murder, you know what I'm saying? And you watch funny shows and then it makes you laugh, and laughter works like medicine and helps you live long. So we're gonna mention her children now. She has 5 children. She has Lynn's the top one, then Ellen, that's me, and Alan and Craig, and then Julie, the one who is to be the person that is there for her at this point. And we thank the Lord for all the families out there. Try to do something kind for another today. Reach out as a neighbor and call Eleanor. She likes the phone call. Send a card. If you want to send her a card, you can send it to my email. That's wowellen@yahoo.com. I'll print them all up and I'll give them to her. wowellen@yahoo.com. Please send a note or a word of inspiration, some kind word. She is going to be 96 this year, right? On June the 9th or 10th. Which one? The 9th or 10th? The 10th. And we're gonna celebrate that together as well, because every year Pat and I call every day, we go like, Mom, when we're not living with her, happy birthday. And she doesn't get it because every day is like a special day because she's still alive. And we forgot to our joke, Mom. How's it being 95? Well, I can't walk, I can't see, I can't hear, I can't stand it, but she actually can walk. She can run. When her phone rings, and if it's Craig or Alan or Lynn or Julie, she can catch it. Most of the time, some she can't. I say, put it in the cup holder because then you got it. And then she can see better than I can. I have actually 20/20 vision. I didn't know that was legally blind, but I disguise it with contacts. She sees better than me. Apparently her eyes float, right? Your eyes float with your disease, which is something that isn't fixed yet. And then she can't hear, but Pat and her have the same hearing. And if they're watching TV, they hear everything. So can't walk, she can't stand though. I don't think you can stand. I don't know why. So you've never been up.
Very dizzy if I stand.
Be dizzy. Long. So we said that's a joke about being old. So when you being old is not for cowards. You have a lot of courage. There's a lot of suffering involved, and you have to go with it. There's nothing you can do sometimes. But I said to Pat, Mom, do you think it's bad that Mom just sits alive? He goes, no, she gets plenty of exercise walking back and forth to the bathroom. He said, doctor, he said, that's her exercise. Okay, I'm a worry ward. I go, is she okay? But anyways, we had to wait patiently for Patrick. That was practicing virtue today to put us on the air. So we have enjoyed being with you. Eleanor, the old wisdom from the old lady, will be on YouTube. Please look up all her shows. She has like 4 now, and she enjoys being on. Some she does be reluctant to come on, but when she does it later and watch it, she enjoys it. She's well worded. I'm always surprised, Mom, that you could speak so well and you're not nervous. You're not nervous. You don't stumble over words. You speak like as if you had been doing this all your life. What do you think? Wasn't so bad, was it?
Well, I'm so glad Ellen made me do it, because at first I didn't want to. But then once I get on, I'm happy about it.
Yeah, you are. And to see it, Mom. To see it's fun. It's fun to see it. We don't do bloopers on this show. We just do a lot of bloopers. And if something goes wrong, like say Mom swore out loud, we would not delete it. And she doesn't swear, right, Mom? You don't swear. She doesn't drink. She doesn't swear. She doesn't go in a bathtub because she might fall. There's more doesn't than do's, but she does enjoy people and having some. She likes family. So this year we're going to have a big celebration, and she's going to see all the family at the graduation. I have 4, well, I say 4 grandkids graduate. I have Carter Robinson, and I have Bella Adriano, and I have Emily Rowe, and then we have Kelby. Mom knows Kelby. She's like part of the family. So graduation is here, and she'll see everybody there. And then she's got the birthday coming up super fine around the same time. So we thank y'all for listening. Do I have any last words, Mom? Do you want to say goodbye or say any last? Just remember the neighbors. We're going to sing. Ready? Who are the people in your neighborhood? In your neighborhood. In your neighborhood. Oh, check it out, guys. Look to the left. There's a neighbor. Look to the right. There's a neighbor. Look straight ahead. It's your job.
I gotta go.
Bye-bye. She's got to go. Bye, Mom. And that was Ellenor Manfredi on the show, Wisdom from the Old Lady. And she exactly did a great job. And this is Ellen Mongan. I'm kind of faded out today. I don't know why. On Wow Mom, you check out the shows. We're glad you came. I'm host of Wow Mom. You can reach me at you can reach me at wowellen@yahoo.com. Don't forget to send that card or letter in. I will get them all together and show her that people do care. People do hear from her, and she does have a lot of wisdom. Send that today. It'll be an email. I'll print them all up and give it to her for her birthday. And God bless you today, and have a good one.